Hello everybody, this is House Tutorials. Today we'll be doing a little kind of a beginner's guide to the game Final Fantasy Record Keeper. I'm not going to go over the tutorial, how to actually do everything, because that shows you how to do that in the game. But I do have a bunch of tips and tricks just to get through a little easier. This one, I do enjoy Final Fantasy Brave Exvius a little more. Not just the graphics, but the actual gameplay, and this one's a little harder to get into and to actually get somewhere. So through my experience, I've got several tips here just to make it a little easier and to actually make you enjoy it. But it's still a game where you spend 10-15 minutes, run out of stamina, come back a couple hours later and play. So it's still kind of an off and on game. But we'll go ahead and get started here. First thing will be Mithril. You get a ton of Mithril. One of the main parts of the game is what's it called? Realms. The Realms dungeons. All the different games. So I think it starts on 7. You go through here, and each one you complete gives you one Mithril. And then as you continue, other dungeons, other games will open up. And then after a while, you kind of hit a block. Like I kind of hit a block, not really, but once you finish several of these classic ones, you just hit the top right elite dungeon up here, and you have a bunch of new ones. These usually cost a lot of stamina, but the difficulty isn't terrible depending on the dungeon. And a lot of them, well, I'll get to the stamina shards later, but I mean, there's tons of dungeons for Mithril. Another way, you login bonus, it's usually at least once a day, sometimes it's 2 a day. And then there's promotions and events. Right now it's Christmas time, so there's obviously they're giving away a lot of stuff right now every day. And then another one is the event dungeons. They have a daily dungeon every day. You do each of these, you'll get one Mithril. Unfortunately, you can't do it every week. You do it once and it's done. So the next time, the next Tuesday, the next Wednesday, you can't get additional Mithril. There's a little schedule here that shows you what each day is. And as you get more powerful, you'll be able to unlock these higher levels and get more Mithril. And then they'll also have special events for each game. Right now it's Final Fantasy 7. In the past they've had 5, 6, 10, 8. So they just go through different ones, and then these ones are pretty easy. Get Mithril for each one, and then the elite ones are obviously a lot more difficult down here. Okay, and then for Mithril, another thing, for relic draw, I would only recommend getting the rare relic draw times 11. That way you always get at least one 5-star or higher. 6 star is the highest, but they're super rare. So this way you at least get one 5-star. Even if you do 1 at a time or 3 at a time, there's no guarantee. You could just get junk and waste a ton of Mithril. So definitely recommend only doing these. Another thing is about once a month they have a one-time only half off. So like this one I already did it, but this one is only 25. And once again, you're still guaranteed the at least one 5-star unit, or not unit, item, weapon, or armor. On this one you get weapons and armor items, whereas Brave Exvius you get units, so it's a little bit different there. So I would only recommend doing that. And then if you really like Final Fantasy 7 and you want to try for Ragnarok or some other crazy stuff, you can do that, but I would recommend, at least in the beginning, only do these half ones, and then once you start building up more and more Mithril, you can start spending 50 instead of 25, but make sure you always have at least 25 in case one of these pops up, because they usually only last a week or two. And then obviously there's the one free relic every day. The highest star item I've gotten is a 3-star, so I wouldn't hope for anything better than a 1 or 2-star, honestly. It's usually just junk, but it still helps in the beginning. Okay, so that's Mithril for you. Another thing, in the very beginning you do get a really good 5-star, well, not an amazing, but it's a 5-star weapon. It carried me through several dungeons, quite a bit of the game. I don't use it anymore, but I still have it. So for the most part, when you're attacking, you'll just do auto attacks. I'll just kind of go through here. Let's see, let's check through real quick. See 57, 55 difficulty. See 1 mithril. Okay, we'll just go ahead and then the thing you'll obviously want to optimize. Once you get in the game and you kind of know a lot what's going on, you don't have to optimize, you can do it yourself. This is quicker. It'll pretty much try and match up any equipment that is specific to this dungeon. For example, these ones that are blue, these are Final Fantasy III items highlighted. That means they do more damage or they protect you more. And same with my units, Lunith and Refia. They have more health, damage, armor, and everything when you're in their own home world, home game dungeon, whatever it's called. So optimize will try and match up everything like that. Doesn't look like I have any Final Fantasy III weapons, but you'll just go next. For friends, I do recommend trying to get as many friends as you can. You can just scroll down once, it only has 2 pages. Obviously, you won't have very strong unit friends at first, but they'll get stronger over time. Like some of these guys are already level 99. And then down here, there's 55, so it just depends. I don't really need an amazing unit for this, but we'll just go ahead go through here. I'll just do an attack real quick. Okay, little button down here, click on that, auto. As long as it's not a super difficult dungeon, you pretty much just go through it. Don't even have to pay attention. Kill everything in 1 and 2 hits, especially in the beginning with the 5-star weapon. But luckily, you don't have to actually finish the whole series of dungeons inside. I'll just finish this one, and then I can go back to the main menu, and then I can return to the dungeon later, which is pretty nice. You don't have to complete the whole thing all at once. So I'll be right back once this is finished. Okay, we finished the first little part of the dungeon, so we can just go home down here, and then it'll display in battle right there. We just click on it, it'll go straight back to there. Okay, so mithril, good, auto attacks, and then I go back there. I'll show you something real quick. Camp. Whenever you select a dungeon, it'll have a boss tab. This sometimes it'll just say defeat him without being KO'd. A lot of times though, it'll have attack this unit with a lightning damage or poison them or put them to sleep or whatever, blind them. And so for the most part, you just have to auto attack, but on bosses, you want to have at least one of your units equipped with an ability for that boss so that you can have the extra completion items at the end. So for the most part, auto attack, except once you get pretty far in the game. And for bosses, you want to actually start saving up orbs and everything for abilities. And then another thing for the event dungeons is pretty much the best way to actually get units. As you can tell, little icons over here on the right side. And obviously at first they go up to a max level 50. And then once you get these little crystals, they go up to 65. And then with the 2, it's 80. And then so on all the way up to level 99 for the max. So you'll at first you'll just be able to get the 50, and then over time you get more and more 65 units as you get more powerful. You can do this higher level difficulties for better units. So definitely recommend doing these event dungeons for the different storyline ones. Right now it's 7. And then you will eventually get a lot of growth eggs. I would save those. I'll go ahead and have a link and also a little screenshot to the site here that'll show top units for attack. You can also have top units for magic. It'll show you which ones are pretty much have the most attack and everything. But for right now, my group right now is pretty good. Squall, Kane, Lunith, Reffi, and Cloud. Pretty much any main protagonist of the story, such as Titus down here, or any other main characters like Furion, Shantoto, she's like the #1 magic user, Warrior of Light, several other units that are up there. But there's quite a bit of them that have like 200 plus attack or a lot of magic damage, so not really restricted to just 5 people. There's quite a bit of people to choose from. But for those, I definitely recommend saving your growth eggs. So let's just go to this guy. He's in battle, can't do him. Let's do Shantoto, for example. Just go growth eggs. You can do optimize or clear and just do however many greater ones or whatever. And then obviously the wiki, the link, you learn a lot of basic information such as top tier units, which ones to keep, which ones are trash, different abilities, everything like that. For upgrading your equipment, such as your the one you get in the beginning, your 5-star. Let's see if I can find mine. It was like a sword. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, so let's take this one for example. You can use these materials up top here to gain levels. The best way in the beginning is just collect a bunch of junk items. Usually anything from level 1, and then once you get higher up, you'll start getting rid of level 2 and level 3. Right now I just keep level 4 and up items that are actually somewhat decent. But I have enough 5-star weapons that I don't really worry about that, but I don't have very many 5-star accessories and armor, so a lot of those that I wear are like 3 to 4-star. But yeah, those are just a few tips for you there. It's not a conclusive guide, but it should definitely give you a little head start in the game. Have a lot of patience. It's not a game where you can get super far on, unless obviously you spend a lot of money. Go to relic draw, go to times 11, and then use gems. Gems are pretty much the only thing you spend money on. Buy now, and it's got a selection of, obviously the highest amount is the biggest bang for your buck. It's got a pretty big difference though, 29 to 85, it's a big gap. But if you want to spend money, you obviously can, it's up to you. But if you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'm obviously not a master at this game, but it did take me a while to get through it. If I would have known a lot of this stuff in the beginning, it would have been a lot more enjoyable. Would have been able to finish a lot more of those story dungeons and got better units quicker, upgraded them faster. But yeah, leave any comments, questions, concerns below. But thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.